Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. Welcome to the troubleshooting guide for DTC P0087, which stands for fuel rail pressure too low, specifically for the Honda Civic models from 2016 to 2021. This diagnostic trouble code indicates that the fuel pressure in the rail is below the expected level required for optimal performance. The fuel rail pressure sensor monitors the pressure within the fuel rail, ensuring that the engine receives sufficient fuel for combustion. Located along the fuel rail, it communicates crucial data to the Powertrain Control Module, PCM, which adjusts the fuel delivery accordingly. In the event of low fuel pressure, the PCM detects this fault and triggers the P0087 code, resulting in subpar engine performance, stalling, or various drivability issues. Before engaging in any troubleshooting, it's essential to review the general procedures. Remember to gather relevant diagnostic data, as proper diagnosis can save time and prevent unnecessary repairs. DTC P0087 signifies that the fuel rail pressure is too low, primarily affecting the fuel rail pressure sensor, which plays a vital role in maintaining appropriate fuel delivery to the engine. This sensor is generally located on the fuel rail assembly, where it monitors real-time pressure data, crucial for the PCM to optimize fuel injection and ignition timing. If the sensor detects a pressure drop, it sends a signal to the PCM, which may then trigger this diagnostic trouble code. Additionally, fuel-related components like the high-pressure fuel pump and fuel lines are also affected, as any failure within these components could lead to insufficient fuel pressure in the rail. Understanding the location and operation of these components is essential, since they directly impact the engine's performance and efficiency. Both the PCM and the fuel rail pressure sensor work collaboratively to ensure that the engine runs efficiently and avoids issues such as misfires or stalling. Several possible causes could trigger DTC P0087. First, a fuel leak is a common culprit, which can cause a noticeable drop in fuel pressure within the rail. If a leak is identified, it must be repaired before continuing with further diagnostics. Another potential cause could be a clogged fuel filter, which restricts fuel flow and prevents adequate pressure from building up in the rail. This could also result in engine performance issues. Moreover, a faulty high-pressure fuel pump might not generate sufficient pressure, leading to the same error code and requiring careful inspection and testing. Each of these issues must be considered during the troubleshooting process, as addressing the root cause is essential for achieving a reliable repair. Therefore, it's crucial to thoroughly investigate each area for potential failure before concluding on the necessary reparative action. Symptoms associated with DTC P0087 primarily revolve around engine performance issues. A notable symptom is engine stalling, especially during acceleration or when idling. If the fuel rail pressure is too low, the engine may struggle to maintain consistent operation, leading to unexpected stalling. Another common symptom is reduced power during driving, which may present as sluggish acceleration or difficulty reaching higher speeds. This can severely affect the vehicle's drivability and overall efficiency. Poor acceleration can also be experienced, making merging into traffic or climbing hills challenging. Recognizing these symptoms early is crucial, as they indicate potential failures within the fuel delivery system. Timely diagnosis and repairs can prevent further complications and ensure the vehicle remains safe and reliable on the road. The first step to troubleshoot DTC P0087 involves problem verification while the vehicle is in idling state. Begin by turning the ignition to the on mode without starting the engine. This allows the vehicle systems to power up for diagnostic capabilities. Next, utilize the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS, to clear any stored diagnostic trouble codes. This is essential to reset the system and identify if the code persists after a brief engine run. Now, start the engine and hold the RPM at 3,000 without any load until the radiator fan activates, usually indicating that the engine has stabilized. This high idle helps establish fuel system pressures under controlled conditions and prepares the vehicle for an accurate diagnostic check. After this step, select the DI fuel pressure test from the HDS inspection menu to monitor the results. Analyzing these results will help determine the next course of action, either confirming normal operation or revealing further issues. The second troubleshooting step involves a thorough test drive of the vehicle to assess its performance under typical conditions. Drive the vehicle for several minutes, keeping an eye on various parameters, including engine speed, vehicle speed, manifold absolute pressure, MAP, throttle position sensor, TP, accelerator pedal position, APP, engine coolant temperature, ECT, fuel pressure computed from the pressure sensor and directly from the direct fuel injection system. These monitored parameters provide insight into how the fuel system responds under different driving conditions. Following the test drive, you should again check for pending or confirmed DTCs using the HDS. If DTC P0087 reappears after this analysis, it indicates the fault is present in real time, confirming the issue is not intermittent. If the code does not appear, further inspection of the PGM-FI main relay and its connections is warranted to rule out any electrical concerns that may be contributing to the pressure drops. In the third troubleshooting step, you will check the operation of the spill valve associated with the high-pressure fuel pump. Begin by starting the engine and letting it idle while you pay close attention to sounds emanating from the high-pressure fuel pump area. The spill valve plays a crucial role by regulating rail pressure. When the pump activates, you should hear a characteristic noise or vibration indicating normal operation. If there is noise or vibration, proceed to the next steps with confidence that the pump itself is functioning as expected. However, if no sound or vibration occurs from the spill valve when the pump operates, it necessitates replacing the high-pressure fuel pump entirely. This step is critical because without a functioning spill valve, the fuel pressure cannot be adequately controlled, leading directly to conditions triggering the DTC. The fourth step involves a focused check on the fuel rail pressure sensor's function. To initiate, turn the ignition to off, then remove the PGM-FI main relay 2. This action resets the fuel delivery circuit and prepares you for further testing. Start the engine and allow it to idle until it eventually stalls. This stalling will help you assess the fuel pressure readings under near-zero conditions. Subsequently, crank the engine several times to gather relevant parameters using the HDS. You must check the fuel pressure converted from the fuel pressure sensor. The expected threshold should be less than 1,000 kilopascals. If the readings match the expected normal range, this suggests that the fuel rail pressure sensor itself is functioning correctly, allowing you to proceed to the next step. However, if the readings are off, the fuel rail pressure sensor must be replaced to remedy the issue. The fifth step in the troubleshooting process involves a second check of the fuel rail pressure sensor under operational conditions. Begin by turning the ignition back to off and reinstating the PGM-FI main relay 2. Once reconnected, start the engine again. You will then hold the engine speed steady at 3,000 RPM without any load, similar to the preliminary test. After a stabilization period, shift the transmission into D mode while firmly pressing the brake pedal and then the accelerator pedal. It is crucial to maintain the gear while monitoring this process to prevent complications. Utilize the HDS to check the fuel pressure converted from the sensor and directly measured from the direct injection system. Ideally, both values should closely align, signifying that the fuel rail pressure sensor is functioning correctly. If the values diverge significantly, it indicates a faulty sensor, thus necessitating its immediate replacement. The sixth troubleshooting step entails checking the low-pressure side of the fuel system to ensure adequate fuel delivery. Start by measuring the fuel pressure coming from the low-pressure side, as this pressure is integral to maintaining the overall function of the injection system. If the fuel pressure readings meet manufacturer specifications and are within acceptable limits, this indicates that the low-pressure side of the fuel system is operational and that the next step can be pursued confidently. Conversely, if the fuel pressure is found to be inadequate, further investigation is necessary. This could involve examining components such as the fuel pump, fuel pressure regulator, fuel filter, and fuel lines. Identifying blockages or failures in these components is critical, as any malfunction could directly contribute to inadequate fuel pressure, leading to DTC P0087. The final step in the troubleshooting process is a visual inspection of the high-pressure fuel pump. Initially, you need to remove the high-pressure fuel pump for close examination. Focus on key components like the cam that drives the pump and the roller mechanism. Inspect these for signs of wear, damage, or failure, as these can hinder the pump's efficiency and overall function. If the parts are found to be in good condition, it warrants replacing only the high-pressure fuel pump to maintain reliability. However, should any damages be detected on the cam or roller, you may need to replace both the intake camshaft and the high-pressure pump. Ensuring these components are in optimal condition is essential for preventing low fuel rail pressure conditions that could trigger DTC P0087 in the future. After completing all troubleshooting steps related to DTC P0087, it's vital to verify the repairs have resolved the issue. Begin this verification process by rechecking for any stored DTCs using the HDS. If DTC P0087 is no longer present, this is a strong indication that the repairs were effective. Next, conduct a comprehensive test drive to ensure the vehicle operates smoothly under various driving conditions. Pay attention to performance metrics such as power, acceleration, and fuel efficiency. If the vehicle maintains consistent performance without triggering any new or old DTCs during this test drive, it likely confirms that the underlying problem has been addressed. Ensuring complete resolution of issues fosters reliability and performance, making it vital to conduct this final verification thoroughly. Preventive maintenance is crucial for avoiding issues like DTC P0087 in the future. One significant practice is to perform regular changes of the fuel filter at intervals specified in the owner's manual. A clean fuel filter ensures that contaminants do not clog the fuel line, maintaining appropriate pressure levels in the fuel rail. Additionally, periodic inspections of the fuel lines for cracks, leaks, or wear can help identify potential failures before they escalate into problems that trigger error codes. It's also wise to monitor fuel pressure levels during routine maintenance checks, ensuring they remain within the manufacturer's specifications. Early detection of any abnormalities can lead to timely repairs, thereby enhancing the longevity and performance of your Honda Civics fuel system. Adopting these preventive measures significantly reduces the risk of encountering issues related to fuel pressure. In conclusion, addressing DTC P0087, which signifies low fuel rail pressure, requires a systematic and thorough diagnostic approach. Each step we reviewed plays an integral role in pinpointing the underlying issues, whether due to electrical failure, component malfunction, or inadequate fuel delivery. It's essential to recognize the importance of understanding how each component interacts as part of the overall fuel system. Additionally, engaging a technician with expertise in Honda vehicles can facilitate accurate diagnosis and effective repairs. Finally, regular maintenance practices can significantly reduce the likelihood of future occurrences of DTC P0087 or similar issues. By adhering to outlined diagnostic steps and preventive measures, you can ensure your Honda Civic remains both safe and performance-oriented for years to come. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.